Hello, welcome back to OT to Pass. Today we are here with.
Bay Area's finest, Kevin, you know.
He is the top 32. He just reached top 32 out of Swiss.
And I placed 12th after my Swiss rounds.
What was your record?
I was 6-1.
Okay. What was your only loss?
My only loss was Chronojet. It was definitely one of the harder matchups, yeah.
Round one, huh?
Not round one.
Round one. What round was it?
It was round 6.
Damn. Well, it was close. It happened. So, you brought it out with. You got top 32 with.
Lianorn, best girl right now. Best green girl, you know. Yep. Should I start off with the round line?
Yeah, go for it.
So, for grade zeros, I run Rurua, and that's because I also run grade 1 Rurua, which needs a grade 0. Calls plant token, simple as that. Get your rush started. Free unit to sack too.
Yep.
Here's the part that differs. Some people run a different grade 2. I like this one because it lets you build a full board on grade 2, like consistently. Some people like to play Rectina, which is like much a later game card. Get the grade 1, you know, gets the better booster. But sometimes the soul is kind of heavy. You might need the soul for later.
Especially right now where you kind of need the soul for everything.
Yeah, and this like just makes a full board.
Okay. All right. Let's get on forward.
Starting with the grade 3s for Vivace, main ride, you're, you know, big boss.
Yeah. Your usual main boss.
Yep. Ladder, very important for this format. Shoujo Doji, Shiranui's, Welstra, Chronojet, everything retires. You don't want to lose your pieces. Gives 5k to your Vanguard. Your Vanguard restands. Very good. Another 2 5k attacks.
Really nice with the 5K as well. Gets good numbers.
Yeah, good numbers. Okay. The grade 2 best friend of Lianorn, Less Impact Dragon, been in the deck since release. 15k booster, 15k swing, can rush, make perfect numbers during your grade 2 turn, draws you cards, and one of your outs to soul lets you draw in the early game, which this deck struggles the most in the early game, having hand advantage.
Yeah. Especially playing so aggressive.
Yep. Another 15k body. So I have 8 15k bodies, you know, just to make perfect numbers that hit over defenses in the early game. If you get crit in the early game, this is one of your few outs for counterblast to let you draw, so then you don't feel as bad. 10k interceptor, intercept with it, helps you guard in the early game.
Yep.
Very good.
Very good in the early game.
Cyclers, you need this. Lianorn has no hand early game. Don't be afraid to use CB for this. You have another energy user, and Lianorn doesn't use any CB at all. It's just this and this that uses CB. So don't be afraid to use CB. You also have a counter charger, lets you draw. Good for guarding. Good for guarding. Use CB to guard too. You'll always get 3 energy.
Yep.
Next turn.
Yep.
Counter chargers. I abuse this a lot, which is why I use counter blast on my Brave Shooter a lot. So then it's pretty much free.
Yep.
Right, 13k booster, slash attacker on Vivace turn, 10k, good for good numbers. Lets you draw. If you have this in your hand, always call it out because you never want 5k shield in your hand.
Yep.
This can only equate to the same shield value or more when you draw into a trigger. So always use it.
Yep.
Don't leave it in your hand.
And that's why we always play Brave Shooter.
Yep. Your other energy out, very overpowered card. Sometimes even better than Brave Shooter, depending on what grade 1s you have in your drop. It gets plus 2k, even in the early game. It's not grade restricted. Makes perfect numbers, hits perfect numbers in the early game.
Makes 23 columns.
10k by itself, can swing by itself on grade 2s.
Yep.
Yeah, just remember, this can only call grade 1s or less, so then be careful when you call your lesser impacts, you can't revive them.
Yeah.
The best attacker in Lianorn. Mixed tokens, easy rush.
What more can I say, you know?
Yeah, hit OT, you win the game.
Yeah. Hit OT, put it on Luster.
1 Mythiarch. So for this tech slot, I have 1 slot for tech. I chose to run Mythiarch. A lot of people run in this slot the Blitz order, the watermelon one that just gives you a bunch of power when stuff freestands or gets placed. I wasn't afraid of any of those matchups because my game plan was to not go for late game, just early game. This is like, yeah, and this helps me shuffle my deck in matchups like Chronojet and Shidoji that bot deck my cards.
Yeah.
Also helps me dig for Rosariums. I didn't see this at all though today. I would have loved to see it in my Chronojet matchup.
Yeah.
But that's why I run it. I didn't see it. I didn't use it at all. But I wouldn't cut it.
Yep.
Sanctitude, obviously, garbage trick, 4 PGs, you must play 4. I don't know why you wouldn't. Green OT. If you're playing Stoicheia, you should always just play this OT. All the other OTs aren't as good. This is like Omni trigger, front, good for rushing.
Does so much for
100
the
million.
deck. Yeah.
Draw 2, which is important because, like I said, Lianorn has trouble in the early game. If you hit this in the early game, to draw 2 is very helpful.
Draw 2 into heal.
And heal.
Yeah, draw 2
Like I
heal.
said, Lianorn's early game trash hand.
Open this early game, open this late game, always active. Yep.
Regular heals. I don't play restand heals or crit heals because I'm not afraid of those crit matchups like Blankmeyer, Luard, or Ava. I'm pretty confident in my guarding abilities, and I'm pretty sure I can rush at them, kill them easily. Restand heals. Not afraid of certain restand matchups too. Staraja, mirror matches. I didn't play any mirrors today, so it's good that I didn't have restand heals.
Yeah.
I run 8 crit. Some people play 7 because they want to play 4 of a different trigger. I play 8 because I genuinely believe that in standard, if you hit your crit in an unfortunate situation, you automatically win tempo. The game is lost for your opponent.
Especially in the current format in standard. It's a very aggressive meta right now.
Yeah, you have to hit them. End the game as soon as possible.
Yeah, the more you can push the damage into your opponent, the better the game will be.
Yeah, I play 4 vanillas, 4 effects. Honestly, I almost never use the effect, but I just have it for assurance. Honestly, I think you could get away with 5Ks. 5Ks would be better for making perfect numbers. Yeah.
Yep.
And for my final trigger slot, I run draws instead of fronts. I truly believe that draws are better. Like, if you think about it, if you have like your Rosariums and then you hit the draw, it's kind of the same thing as hitting a front if you just put it in back row, right? They get the extra 10K anyways.
Plus, it's more targeted for the Luster Impact.
Yeah, and Vivace isn't terrible going second, but is definitely weaker than going first. So hitting a defensive draw helps you a lot to stabilize. Like, this deck doesn't need a lot of like firepower to kill, so you don't really need fronts. You just hit the draws, you're good. Yep.
Okay. Especially with how the deck list is right now, it's obviously aim for consistency.
Yep, I maxed out 4 of everything, and then the Mythiar is pretty much a 5th copy of everything, plus the shuffle. Don't forget the shuffle.
The shuffle is the much more important thing than anything else, just because that in the current format, Doji is very prevalent. Chrono Jet can show up here and there.
Yeah, Chrono Jet started getting popular because of the Forkalore.
Forkalore, because it starts making everything draws now.
Sleeper deck.
Yeah, very sleeper deck. Not a lot of showing right now, but it will start to creep up later on in the year. Obviously, most frequently asked questions: what is usually your starting hand, or like what's your ideal hand when you go first, or like in any time when you play this deck?
So whenever I mulligan, I don't mulligan for anything specific. I just worry about putting my triggers back in the deck because I'm a very adaptive player. So it doesn't matter which normal units I start with. I just play the strengths of each unit and try to maximize. So there's no really ideal starting hand. But if I were to pick specific units I do want to see, I would have to pick Vivace. You don't need it immediately. It's a turn 4 card. But since I like to play for consistency, I want to see this immediately so I know I have it right away instead of risking it to draw later. Even though it's a brick in my hand until turn 4, I have to play around it because I don't ever want to misride.
Yeah, most turns, especially past turn 3, it just becomes a struggle if you don't see Vivace.
Another target I want to see, maybe a 15K, one of the 15Ks. 15K is important because it lets you rush, hits perfect numbers, hit over defensive. Defensives are the worst things that can happen in standard right now. So having cards that can combo with a booster to hit over defensives, very important. So just one of these, you don't have to see both.
Yep.
Ideally, you want to have a Rosarium in the early game, right? So, yeah. It creates tokens, creates a board, and it's your main attacker for the late game. It can come back from the drop if it dies with a different card.
Yep.
And then like the last card I maybe want to see is at least one of the energy users, right? So energy, you got energy. It's pretty much if you can use the energy, you get a free card. You keep your hands, keep your advantage, yeah. So probably like, just like one of these, like this, and then like maybe like this,
Yeah. And then it pretty much flex on the last card.
Yeah, last slot, like I said, I normally just pull all my triggers and pray for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what was your matchup spread today?
Matchup spread, round 1, Rezael, round 2. All right, let me see.
Yeah.
Matchup spread.
Because I feel like you had a plethora.
Yeah,
of
I did. I
matchups.
actually
Yeah.
had a good
Yeah.
amount of.
Most of the matchups that you had and Justin had as well. There's also a deck log, deck profile later.
So I had Rezael round 1. I went second. I won. Michu round 2. I went first. I won. Welstra round 3. I went first. I won. Shojidoji round 4. I went first. I won. Luard for my 5th match, team kill. I'm so sorry, Kevin. I won that matchup.
Yeah.
And then 6 was Chronojet. I went first and I lost.
Yeah.
And then on my last round, another team kill. I killed Shojidoji. I went second. I won. So I actually have a huge spread.
Yeah, a big spread of all different decks right now for all the nations.
And a lot of stuff that retires, apparently. It's a good thing I ran the ladder.
Yeah, that's what I said, especially in the current format. I hate to say that ladder is a need right now.
It is a need. Even though there's so many good.
Caliburn came out, it's instantly a day and night difference. But especially for the current format where there's 3 Dragon Empire decks that especially controls the board, ladder is like a day and night difference.
Yeah, I mean, there's Welstra too, dude. It
yeah.
carries, bro. It carries for Welstra.
Especially after this event where it's going to get a promo. So it keeps with this consistency, gets really strong. But because of the current format, ladder is needed, even though Caliburn is a day-night difference. Twin cast, highly defensive card, much need.
Yep.
But here we are. But at the end of the day, you ended up with the energy crest.
Yep.
Bald
My
man.
first top and my first BCS, you
Yep.
know. Yeah. Should I go over one combo, one bread and butter combo?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so whenever I go first, or in general on my grade 2 turn, I normally like to have my token. Depending on what I have in my hand, I'll call the second token somewhere else, but usually it goes something like this.
Yeah.
Right, let's say I'm going first. Rosarium, this could be called with
Alvina.
Alvina in the drop, right? So like you could discard this early game, right? Pretty much a free discard if you use energy, call it back, right? And then you just call like this.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like this. More like this. This is better, right? And then like I said in my mulligan hand, one of the most important targets is a 15K. So if you got broccoli, put it up here. If you see Luster Impact, put it back here.
Yep.
Right?
Gets the boost.
It gets the boost. Why this is like one of the ideal boards is because this is 18, this is 15, this is 20, right? When you're going first, swing with your Vanguard, hard for them to guard. They need to commit 2 cards, or they have to commit 2 cards, right? And then if you hit a crit, you kind of win the game. And both of these will hit the grade 1 over a defensive, so you can keep pushing for damage. And this is like that's all you have to do is like brain off. You just call this and you swing. Yeah.
All right. And I think that's it. That's the deck profile. Anyways, congrats, dog.
Yep.
Yep.
Crispy
And
guy.
we're done.